Hello and welcome back, or if you're new here then welcome to my channel. If you've been here before then you know that I am a serial mood reader, and when I create my TBR lists it's kind of the only way that I actually keep myself on track for reading books from my TBR, because I have a habit of buying new books and then prioritising them, or going to the library, which I haven't done in a while actually, and taking out way more books than I can read. So today I'm going to be going through my November TBR, and I'll be doing that with the help of a brand new TBR jar. This is a tin I got from an Illumicrate box and it is so pretty, and I decided to purpose it at the moment as a TBR jar with prompts in them. I think there's 33 prompts in this at the moment, and this is the first time I'm doing a TBR jar for determining my monthly TBR, and I'm really excited about it actually, because I feel like it might allow for some mood reading as well. Probably not. But anyway, other than the TBR jar, there are books that I'm going to need to read this coming month of November, because I've started books in October and not finished them, or for books that are parts of book club reading lists, and I'm part of 3 book clubs that have a book to be read. So that already determines, I think, 5 books that I'll be reading this month, and I'm also going to be picking 5 prompts from the TBR jar, making this my most ambitious reading month yet. For the last few months I've read around 8 books, I think, per month. Today I'm going to be striving for 10 for November, which might be a little bit too much, but what happens if you don't push yourself, you know? But let's go through the books that I need to read this month, either for book club or books that I've already started. So firstly we have The Nightingale by Kristen Hannah. I started this on a work trip in Cambridge, and I'm currently filming this and it is not the 1st of November because I got back up, and I've already read a decent chunk of this book because of the train back. I've not got that much left to read, so that'll probably help, hopefully. But yeah, I need to finish this book, so that's book number 1. The second book is a really short book actually, so hopefully that should make it a bit easier, and that is Reasons to Stay Alive by Matt Haig. It's like super like small pages with kind of big writing and really short sweet chapters, so I think that I'll breeze through this. I'll read it every so often and read it really quickly, so hopefully that won't limit me too much. Okay, so those are the 2 books that I started last month and need to finish this month. The 3 books that I have for book club, the first one is If We Were Villains, and I'm so excited to read this book. I am so glad it got chosen for the book club, because in my Illumicrate box I got a jigsaw puzzle for If We Were Villains, and I don't want to do it until I read the book. And I was like, I'm probably not going to read the book for a while. I didn't even own it. And then someone chose it for book club, and I was like, I have an excuse to buy it, and I'll actually prioritise reading it so that I can do the jigsaw puzzle. I am also excited for the book in general. I've heard really great things about it. So yep, that's book number 3 I'll be reading. The other 2 books I don't own for book club. Thankfully one of them is super short, and that is Girl Meets Boy by Ali Smith, and I think I need to have that read by like the 16th of the month, maybe the 22nd. I can't remember, I'll need to check the rota. That's the book club that I host. And the 3rd book for book club is The Spanish Love Deception. I'm not sure if that's going to be my kind of vibe of book. I've been putting off reading it because from the premise I don't think I'll enjoy it, but who knows, maybe I'll absolutely love it. I think it's quite a light-hearted one, so it'll be easy, like page turner vibes hopefully. So yeah, those are the 5 books quickly going through that I need to read out with the TBR jar. But the premise of this video is centering around the fun TBR jar. So I'll be reaching in and reading off 5 different prompts, and for each of those prompts I'm going to choose a book that I haven't read yet that I want to read in November. So let's get started. Wait, actually I should probably just show you me going in, just in case you think it's like a fix if I end up getting the books that I want. Okay, so it's quite a narrow thing, and I don't want to end up getting one that I put on near the top, so I've just like shoved my hand right in, and this is so exciting. I don't know why I'm so excited by this. I love watching I love watching TBR prompt videos, so I was like, it'll be so fun to make one. So this one is next book in a series that I have already started. Oh, I've got a few. And the issue here is the book that I want to choose for this is thick. It is like 800 plus pages. And if I'm wanting to read 10 books this month, I think giving myself a book that is that long could hinder me. I wish this was the last one that I pulled out of the 5 so I could determine what the rest of my stack is looking like that I'll be reading, because otherwise it's going to be real difficult. Okay, so what I'm going to choose between, let me get these quickly. Okay, so coming straight to mind is these 3 books. These are 3 series that I've started, and these are actually all, I think, like the last books or like spin-off books from the series. So we've got The Three Sisters, which is the 3rd book from The Tattooist of Auschwitz and Silka's Journey. We have The Hero of Ages, which is the 3rd one in the Mistborn trilogy. And we have A Court of Silver Flames, which is Nessa's story from ACOTAR. All of these books are kind of thick. I'm going to narrow it down to 2. I'm terrible at making decisions, so I don't know why I thought this would be a good idea. I'm going to leave A Court of Silver Flames, and I'm going to decide between the other 2. So this is the first one that I thought of initially, but it literally took me so long to read the 2nd book just because it's thick. The writing is quite small and such. Like, yeah, this is almost 800 pages long. This one is also part of my 23 in 2023. So this is a book I actually set out to read this year. But I have been wanting to read this book to figure out what happens at the end. Oh, this is hard. This is hard. Okay, I'm going to set myself out to read Three Sisters. I feel like it's the one that makes most sense because I need to read this for the end of this year anyway, but I don't need to. It's not like gun to your head, need to. But I wanted to. I aimed to read this year. And I read a few historical fiction books this year, and I love historical fiction. I forget how much I love it, and I really loved Silka's Journey. I think this is also a thick book anyway, but hopefully it's just slightly less thick. But yeah. So my first one is The Three Sisters from the prompt, next book in a series that I have started already. So I'm just going to put these books here. I'll put the prompt there. Okay. This is harder than I thought it would be. I don't know why I thought a TBR jar would make it easier, but here we are. I'm really digging in here, aren't I? Oh, I dropped one. I'll put that back in. Okay. The next one is, a book with a 5-word title. I might be here a while. Let's do this. Okay, so I have picked 3 books again that I found that have 5 words in the title. So we've got A Court of Silver Flames again. We have Let the Right One In, and Eleanor Orphan is Completely Fine. This is a hard choice. I don't know which I want to read. I want to read Let the Right One In I wanted to read it during October/November, and I didn't read it last month. I wanted to read it in kind of like autumn vibes, but it would also work for December. So I could also leave this one for December. And then Eleanor Orphan is Completely Fine. I've been wanting to prioritise this one for a while because people have been telling me that I need to read this book. They've been saying that it's so great. And A Court of Silver Flames, I've been meaning to read it for the longest time now. So it's so hard to choose between the 3. Again, I think I'm going to rule this one out just because this one is one I want to read before the end of the year because I wanted to read it during like autumn or winter because I think it'll be quite spooky. And then this one has been, I've been told by so many people that I need to read this book like immediately. So Let the Right One In or Eleanor Orphan is Completely Fine. Another hard one. Okay. I'm gonna pick. Okay, this one I think is also in my 23 and 2023. But now I'm going to end up just picking all the books from my 23 and 2023, but it wasn't deliberate. But I think I'm going to pick... Oh no, I don't know, but I really also want to read this. No one told me how difficult this would be. I I am going to read Let the Right One In. I'm going to read Let the Right One In because I wanted to read this in October or November, and I could read Eleanor Orphan is completely fine next month, I think. I do really want to read this book. Okay, so put this one here and the prompt here. I already know that this is going to be a reading month where I push myself. I've not really been pushing myself recently. I've just kind of been reading as I want to. So this is actually quite exciting to push myself to read so many books, but we'll see. I do have a short trip planned to Sweden where I'll get some reading done on the plane, so I'm hoping that might help a little bit. Okay, and the next prompt is expected 5-star read. So a read that I think will be 5 stars. Oh, this is so difficult. This is so difficult. Okay, I'm going to need some time again to go through the books that I have and think about it, and then I'll let you know which ones it's between. Okay, so I'm really feeling the theme of having 3 different options for each of the prompts, because any more than 3 and I think I'd struggle to pick, and 3 kind of makes me feel good about removing one and then being like, oh yeah, no, I want to choose between 2 and I've already, yeah. Let's do it. Okay, so the 3 that I've picked that I think could be 5-star reads is Yellowface by R.F. Kuang, All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr, and Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. So the reason I think each of these will be 5 stars, Yellowface, I read Babel and absolutely adored it. I love the writing style. I love this author. I want to read everything by her now. So I think this will be a 5-star read. All the Light We Cannot See, I've seen hyped by a lot of people who like to read similar things to me, and it's a historical fiction book, I'm pretty sure set during the war. And I love historical fiction books set in the war already. I think it is minimum 3-star. I've never really read a book set then that is missed. It's always like an extreme hit for me. And then Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, I have heard that this is one of the best classics ever. It's the first like sci-fi horror. I know it's technically maybe not the first, it's like argued which is, but she is one of the first writers of horror and sci-fi, and the story I think is meant to like shock people with how good it is, because like people think with Frankenstein, oh, it's just about a monster, but it's about like being an outcast and an outsider and stuff as well, and I've heard the writing is beautiful. So all 3 of these I think could be possible 5-star reads. Which one do I think is least likely to be 5 stars? I think Yellowface might be the least likely to be 5 stars, only because I have heard people who like R.F. Kuang saying that they don't love this book as much as her other books, and some people have said it's just a bit of a miss, so I'll put it between these 2. And funnily enough, these 2 are both in my 23 and 2023. That wasn't actually deliberate. I just do think the reason I put these in my 23 and 2023 is I thought I would love them. And I also wanted to read Frankenstein in October and didn't get around to it. So I feel like I should pick Frankenstein for this, because I wanted to read it in October. I didn't, so I could read it in November. And I also genuinely think that this will be a 5-star book, because, I mean, it's Mary Shelley. It's Frankenstein. It's a classic. It is hyped. Hopefully it's a 5-star book. I'll let you know in my November reading wrap up if it is a 5-star book or not. So that's number 3. We have 2 more prompts to go for me to give my most ambitious reading month yet. And let's see, we have, ooh, a seasonal book. And I feel like I've already chose 2 seasonal books. Oops. But for it being like horror during the like winter autumn time. Okay, so let me real quick have a look at the books that I have that I think are good for reading in November, which is like the transition from October, like Halloween autumn, into more wintry months. Let's go. Okay, I've got 3 books again, and the 3 that I have are Last Light by Alex Scarrow, I have Autumn in Sycamore Park by C.P. Ward, and I have Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry. Not 100% sure how to pronounce his surname. But these 3 I think would be good for this prompt, because Last Light is kind of like a dystopian book. I feel like, I don't know why I associate dystopian with like autumn winter time, but I do. I actually put this into my autumn TBR video for wanting to read in autumn time. The Autumn in Sycamore Park is a book that I was given very recently by my friend because she had a duplicate. There's so many books I've actually been given by people because they've bought duplicates. But yeah, this, because it's Autumn in Sycamore Park, it's a book in the autumn. How much more seasonal can it get? And then Legends and Lattes, which is like a cozy autumnal book as well. So I do have quite a lot of like serious books on my shelves, so I think I might leave Last Light and give myself 2 options for books that are like a bit more fun and lighthearted. So this is a difficult choice. I don't know. Let me read the blurbs real quick to try and decide. Okay, so Autumn in Sycamore Park. Okay, having fled a relationship and a previous life she would rather forget, young teacher Jennifer Stevens throws herself into a demanding new job at Brentwell Primary. Charged with marshalling a group of unruly 8-year-olds to the Autumn Harvest Festival, her only solace is the peace of nearby Sycamore Park. As the evenings run and the leaves begin to fall, while new friends, delicious autumn treats, and a possible new man on the orange-tinted horizon help Jennifer finally come to terms with her past and begin to look forward into the future. Autumn at Sycamore Park is another delightful romantic comedy from C.P. Ward, author of several popular seasonally themed novels set against a backdrop of warm autumn days. It offers everything fans of C.P. Ward's other books have come to love: laughter, friendship, good times, and a hint of newly discovered love. That sounds like such a cute little read for autumn. It sounds like so lighthearted and fun, something that's a bit of a palate cleanser in between these other books. And then we have Legends and Lattes. She's done slaying monsters, she's ready to serve coffee. After decades of adventuring, Viv the York barbarian is finally hanging up her sword for good. Now she sets her sights on a new dream, for she plans to open the first coffee shop in the city of Thun, even though no one there knows what coffee actually is. If Viv wants to put the past behind her, she can't go it alone. Help might arrive from unexpected quarters, yet rivals old and new stand in the way of success, and Thun's shady underbelly could make it all too easy for Viv to take up the blade once more. But the true reward of the uncharted path is the travellers you meet along the way. Whether bound by ancient magic, delicious pastries, or a freshly brewed cup, they may become something deeper than Viv could ever have imagined. Legends and Lattes is a cosy, heartwarming story of found family, fresh starts, and the perfect cup of coffee. These are both the perfect book I'm looking for this prompt. I'm looking for cute, cosy vibes where I'm going to drink a hot chocolate or a coffee and read these books. Okay. I am going to pick Legends and Lattes for this. Yeah, I'm going to pick Legends and Lattes because I've been wanting to read this book for a while and I want to read it with like a cup of coffee, a cup of hot chocolate, snuggled in a blanket, and this seems like the absolute perfect read for that. The other one also does seem like a good choice, but we're going to go with Legends and Lattes. Okay, so the final prompt. This is so fun. I need to do this more often. How fun. Okay. And the last one is a historical fiction book, which I already have one of, which is Three Sisters. I know that I was going to say that I was going to pick 3. I'm still going to pick 3. I'm going to pretend I'm considering other things. Okay, let's go. Okay, so these are the 3 books. We have The Bleeding, we have All the Light We Cannot See, and we have Hamnet. All 3 of these are set historically, so The Bleeding, can we take a moment for the edges? But anyway, The Bleeding is set in 1899, 1949 and 2002. All the Light We Cannot See is set in 1944, and Hamnet is set in 1596. So all of these are historical fiction books. And in case you don't already know, I am going to be picking All the Light We Cannot See because I was struggling between picking this and Frankenstein. I expect this to be a 5-star read, and I am getting the chance to pick this book again because of another prompt. How perfect. Okay, So now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm just going to stack these books on top as well. So we've also got that isn't due to the TBR jar. We have If We Were Villains, we have The Nightingale, we have Reasons to Stay Alive, and we have the 2 books that I don't own yet, so I'll either buy them or read them on Kindle, which is The Spanish Love Deception and Girl Meets Boy. Okay, that was so fun. I love my little TBR jar, and if you enjoyed this, then please let me know and I can continue to do TBR jar videos. I probably will continue them anyway, even if you don't like them, because I did, but if you particularly hate them, let me know, and then I can do them like on my own free time and pretend that it's books that I picked for my TBR. And if you're interested in the books that I read in October, I'll have an October reading wrap up coming up shortly, so do subscribe or check out my channel if you care about that. And thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye.